I'm John Forrest, Community Development Director for the City of Wooddale, and welcome to the first episode of Everything You Wanted to Know About Wooddale. Today's first episode is going to focus on the recently completed Metra commuter train station. While researching the answer to this question, I thought it might be interesting to go all the way back to when rail service first came to Wooddale. After the Civil War, the work of establishing Addison Township included the building of roads. Due to soil conditions, which were great for farming, not so great for road building, several methods were tried to establish the roadways, but all were failures. What the area really needed was a railroad. Early settler Frederick Lester joined a syndicate of businessmen from each community along a proposed line from Chicago to Elgin, and they met with the Chicago and Pacific Railroad. Offers to donate land for right-of-way and land for stations resulted in the construction of a single-track railroad that was completed in 1873. Mr. Lester then built a cheese factory next to the depot, and the first area industry was established. The area near the depot, which included residential section, a mercantile store on the second floor of the cheese factory, and a post office, was called Lester's Station. In 1890, due to a request to build an inn next to the depot and Mr. Lester's refusal as he was a teetotaler, in January of 1891, after a series of ice storms, the station was slid along the tracks to the northeast corner of Wooddale Road and Irving Park, where it remained until destroyed by fire in 1968. The inn was subsequently built on the south side of Irving Park. Perhaps some of you remember the old Parkwood Tavern. And soon a general store was added to the area. In 1899, a proposed subdivision south of Irving Park and east of Wooddale Road was to be called Wooddale. The existing residents liked the name, and soon Lester Station was changed to Wooddale. The area around the station changed slowly, and much like today, the railroad was the center of people's daily routines. The first significant residential development of lots, in fact, was marketed as being within sight of the train station, much like the townhomes and condominium buildings located along the line today. In the early 1970s, a new train station was built that fit the needs of the increased ridership, mainly of workers commuting daily downtown and other destinations along the line. As the station became older and obsolete, the decision to partner with Metra and build a new station was finalized. After 2 years and much discussion by the City Council as to whether the old station be remodeled or perhaps enlarged, the decision was ultimately made to demolish the old station and build new. Conceptual sketches were submitted by consultants, but the design that the entire City Council all agreed upon was based on a design and a rendering by Alderman John Kadala. Once the conceptual design was approved, staff met with Metra in order to gain their support and approval of the conceptual design. Staff then published a request for proposals for architects to submit bids for the design work, blueprint preparation based on the approved conceptual design, and an estimated construction cost analysis. The firm that submitted the bid that was accepted was Heitman Architects of Itasca. Once Heitman prepared plans that were acceptable to the City Council, staff again met with Metra for their approval of the plans. Staff subsequently published another request for proposals directed at general contractors. Interested parties were issued copies of the plans, and at a public bid opening, FBG Corporation of Elmhurst submitted the lowest bid for construction and construction management services. The scope of work of this project included upgrading and installing new underground electrical service to the station, water and sanitary sewer lines, and required coordination not only of the utility companies, but Metra as well, as they had to upgrade their existing systems at the station as well. Alderman Kadala's original rendering, which was approved by the City Council, was submitted in October of 2007. After the processes described above, the actual groundbreaking ceremony took place in June of 2009. Construction took approximately 7 months, and the ribbon cutting for the new station was on February 9th, 2010. There are several features that make the new station different from stations in the past. The most obvious is the size of the new station. The old station was 800 square feet, was basically an empty rectangular box with no amenities. The new station is a little over 1,000 square feet and offers men and women's bathrooms, drinking fountains, a coffee shop for carry-out service, air conditioning. The station was wired for Wi-Fi, which will be activated in the future, and an interior that is not only architecturally but aesthetically pleasing, and we also feature 2 archival photos blown up to poster size of previous historical stations. There are electronic pay boxes for the parking fees that accept credit cards, a new public payphone for those of you that do not have cell phones or perhaps forget to charge them, and exterior heaters in the waiting area that are controlled by the commuters. If you include the exterior waiting area created by the extended roof line, there is 2,625 square feet of protected waiting area for passengers. This station has been featured by Metra when considering other communities' requests for stations, and is the equivalent of any new station on the system. As explained earlier, discussions about doing something with the old train station had been going on for years. The only thing for sure was that something needed to be done with the old station. During this time period, there were several developers coming into Wooddale wanting to construct residential subdivisions and condominium buildings. As the completion of these projects would increase the population of Wooddale, and also that the target market for these subdivisions would be residents who would utilize the train station, as is typical, the developers agreed to make donations to a fund to upgrade the existing train station. In addition to this fund, revenues generated from the commuter parking lot were utilized as well. It's important to note that no taxpayer monies were used for the construction of the new station. Total money allocated for the construction of the new station was $1,274,000. We anticipate once everything is completed, which will include new exterior benches, we may actually have a small balance left over from those funds. This project was a partnership between the City of Wooddale and Metra, as Metra owns the property that the station was constructed upon, but Wooddale owns the commuter parking lot. Metra will be installing more modern platform lighting that will closely match the prairie style of the new station. Again, remember there are heaters located in the exterior waiting area that can be activated by people waiting for the train. Gus from Christie's Restaurant operates the coffee service. That's open daily, 5:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. And also I think you should remember that parking at the all-day parking at the commuter station is $1.25. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. We hope you learned something about commuter railroad in Wooddale. And remember, you don't have to be a commuter to stop by the station, grab a coffee, and just check things out. Thank you.